So here we are in the future, in the 2020s, and I just kind of wanted to talk about concealed carry. And I've had some friends that I've been talking to and acquaintances and whatever, and just kind of trying to guide people in the right direction. And just, I'm not an expert, but I just want to share what I've experienced and what I know. And what I know is a long time ago, 20 plus years ago, I started carrying in rigs that were sort of similar to this, leather, and they would usually have loops or belt loops, but that doesn't matter whether they're inside or outside the waistband. I would carry in this and or something similar to one of these. I've lost or wore out most of the rigs that I had, and these were fine and they work, but they're not where we are here in the future. We've moved on from these leather rigs for the most part, and where we want to be is maybe something like this. It's a Kydex holster, and it has some extra features on there, and it's rigid-ish and stays open and lets you put the gun back into the holster without a problem. Has retention that's adjustable perhaps, and lots of features that help keep the gun where it needs to go and protect the trigger and don't collapse on the trigger and have you shoot yourself in the leg or some shit like that. So this is now. This is the future. Here we are. It's an excellent adventure, friends. So this is where we're at, and if you're looking to get into concealed carry, look at getting a quality Kydex or molded plastic of some kind holster, and we'll talk some more about the features that are beneficial on these holsters and what is maybe not what you want to have, whether you want to have a longer sweat guard and whether this mono clip is really a good idea and whether you need a wing or not. And I'm not going to talk about all that. I just kind of want to show the evolution a little bit and just talk about what's available now and the resources that you can get into now and how you can save yourself a lot of a huge box of holsters that are shit and that you never use. So when I first started carrying, I carried the first gun I carried was a Glock 17, and that was the first gun that I owned that I felt was reliable enough that I could take out and have on my person that I felt would work when I needed it, and it is great, and it's a little on the large side, and I realized that right away, and so I transitioned to this gun, and I carried this for a lot of years, and this is just a really basic Glock 26, and this is still a super solid concealed carry option. So 12 rounds with this particular setup with the extension and a full grip and all this blah blah blah. This is a great gun, and probably overlooked a little bit now. There's a certain group of people that probably still like this, and this is an excellent gun. And so I moved on to this, but I was still carrying it in leather floppy holsters, and that worked great for a number of years. And I kind of was at the point of good enough and just carried a few guns, and primarily this, and good enough was good enough. And years go by, and you get fatter, and you know less space for your gun, and maybe you think you want something else, and whatever. But here we are in the future, and the future is now in plastic guns with plastic holsters. That's probably where we should be. And just to talk a little bit about what you should actually look for in a holster that gets you the best holsters that you can have. Something, if you're carrying something, some holsters are not adjustable for retention and some are, and that's not necessarily the most important thing, but something like these Discreet Carry Concepts clips are really a vast improvement over this monoclip, and I know that people don't understand that, but the retention of the holster on your person is extremely positive, perhaps too positive in the sense of when you want to strip this gun off and stick it in your console and leave your gun unattended, it's a little hard to get this off your belt when you're doing that shit. Whether that's a good idea or not is whatever. But this is not going to pop off your belt ever. You will have to be in a crazy Mission Impossible situation for this holster to become disconnected from your belt. It is not going to happen. These clips are fairly positive, but they can come off your belt and your gun could come out. And so that is a very definite feature that you should look for and understand that that is an upgrade to a holster. Whether or not you want to have a wing on your holster will be very much determined upon where you carry your holster and what your body features are and that sort of thing. But different varieties of wings on your holster will change the angle of your grip and allow the grip to be held against your body and improve your concealability. So those are an upgrade. Those are definitely a feature. Not all holsters are made the same. Not all wings are equal. But this is something you should consider if you are doing appendix carry and want to tuck that grip in tight against your body, and that's pretty good. I feel like this video is too long and too wordy, so we'll cut into what I really want to talk about, which is when you are selecting a concealed carry pistol, my recommendation, and the recommendation from a great deal of people, is to get a gun that is essentially a Glock 19. And I don't have one of those here, but I have two guns from an excellent gun maker called CZ that kind of represent something that's in a Glock 19 size. So this is a P10C and this is a P07. These guns are very similar in size, and they are very similar in size to a Glock 19, and they are big enough that you can get a full grip, or at least most people can get a full grip on this and really allow you to control the gun and comfortably shoot the gun. And you can shoot this gun about as well as a full-size gun, which would be a little bit bigger. And these are an excellent choice for a first gun or an entry into a concealed carry gun, because you can actually shoot this gun, and you can shoot this gun well relatively easily. Here we have a striker fired pistol like a Glock. Here we have a double action, single action with the decocker. So, you know, certain features about this may be better. It has a long trigger pull and on that first shot, and then the subsequent shots are short single action pulls. This is really way outside of what I want to talk about. But these pistols, or similar to these, are excellent choices for concealed carry, for your first carry gun, for winter carry, for any time where you're wearing enough clothing that you can dress around this gun and conceal this gun or this gun and not have it be noticed. And these pistols are, you know, 90% as good as a full-size pistol, and you'll be able to shoot these well with a bit of practice. So, good choice for a first carry gun. Glock 19, awesome. For a gun that is more easily concealed, you could move to a gun like a Glock 26 or something similar. This is smaller than the Glock 19 size pistol. This is a subcompact. This is kind of CZ subcompact, even though it's in many ways a bit bigger than the 26. But these are just a little bit smaller and a little bit easier to conceal. Personally, I don't see a big enough difference between this size pistol and this size pistol to really bother with these. I would say either have this or have this. There's not really a need to have both. That's a very personal opinion, and obviously I do have both, so what do I know? But these are an excellent size for a carry gun, and you can conceal these. They're still thick. They're still full size in the terms of the width of the gun and the width of the grips. And in this case, this will hold 14 and this will hold 12. And these are excellent size of guns, and even though they are small, they are big enough that I can still shoot these almost as well as a full-size gun. So now that my kids ran in here and talked to me about a fishing game. Anyway, so excellent guns. Again, if you're just buying a gun for concealed carry, you might look at a 26, or in this case, this is a P10S, or something similar, and just kind of skip the 19 size, the compact size gun, and go for this. But maybe not. They are a little bit smaller, a little bit harder to shoot, but not enough harder to shoot that it makes that big of a difference. Anyway, moving on. I feel like the place where almost everybody is now is they are at these guns. And these guns came around and they kind of changed the game. And this is a Hellcat, and this is a SIG P365 XL, so kind of the bigger version of the 365. These guns are the Micro 9, and they are really small. They are really thin. They're thinner than the previous generations of guns, and it's not that noticeable, but they are thinner. And this is what's popular right now. By thinner, I really just mean they are thinner than the double stack 9mm handguns that have been the popular handgun. So they are much more similar to a single stack or a single column magazine, although this pistol is thinner. It is somewhere in between and offers for easier concealment. Anyway, these pistols are pretty much the premier type of pistol for concealed carry, I would say. They offer high capacity. easy concealability, they're lightweight. Options like these, something in this size category with these types of options with optic sights and magazines that can hold anywhere from 10 to 15 rounds is pretty awesome. And that's where we are in the future, where we are now, where you can have something this size with a 15 round magazine, or easily conceal it with a 11 or 12 or 13 round magazine. And that's excellent. Pair that with a holster such as this, or a holster such as this, depending on your needs and where you carry. Firm Kydex, it's not going to collapse and shoot yourself in the leg. It has a superior kind of clip on it, adjustable retention, and very comfortable to carry in any position. Or this one's really specifically for appendix. Has a wing on there, again, sweat shield. I don't know how much I like that one way or the other. But some kind of holster like that, and you're at peak carry. You can get a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner. This is similar size to one of these guns, but it's a little bit skinnier, but it's much lower capacity. This will hold 7, whereas it's 13. Or we can go for our tried and true wheel gun options, which are very comfortable to carry. The shape of these guns lends itself to fit against the curves of your body, and so they're nice and shapely. And if you have something like this with a shaved hammer, or a hammerless version where there's nothing protruding here, you can really comfortably carry this gun. Limited capacity. Most of these guns will be 5 shot and possibly 6 shot, like in the case of this. This is a 22 Magnum here, and you know, so it's very light. This is light. This one's made out of stainless steel for a little heavier, but very lightweight and very concealable and small, and fits into the curves of your body really well. And in the right kinds of holsters, these guns are very concealable and very comfortable to carry all day long. Limited capacity, but easily concealed and comfortably concealed. And so those are options. And then I don't have too many, but you get into some kind of like pocket size guns, where this is a little 22, and it's something that you could put in your pocket with an appropriate holster that's made for pocket carry. And that's kind of the very small end of anything that I would ever think about carrying. Then there's this whole other thing that happened here in recent years, very recently, which is these chassis systems that, in this case, this is Filster did. And these systems allow you to detach the pistol from your belt. If your main mode of carrying is to put the pistol on your belt or on the seam of your pants, these are not attached to your pants. And so it doesn't matter what you wear. If you're wearing a pair of sweatpants or jogging shorts or whatever, you could still do this. So because they're not attached to your belt, you can place this on your body in different positions across the front of your body, higher and lower, and you can adjust a great deal of things on these types of holsters in order for comfort and maximize concealability. And it is really a game changer. We are really in the future now. something like this, we have really moved into maximum awesome, which I'm sure I say that now, and there's going to be some variations or new products here that'll make this even better. But taking this gun and we can put it on a chassis system and we can attach it to our body and not to our clothing, and this can really change the types of clothes that we wear, the position of the gun, where we wear it. I mean, these are meant for appendix carry, but it is an excellent system, and it really expands the type of dress that you can have and still conceal a gun. And these are really interesting systems, and they're very good for concealed carry. You have to do some fiddling, just like all the things associated with concealed carry. You've got to do some fiddling around. You got to do some figuring things out in order to make these work. But if you're committed to concealed carry, they will work, and you can really easily expand your options about where you can carry, how you can carry, what you can carry, the size of the firearm you can carry, and that is excellent. And that is about all I'm going to say about this. It's a really awesome time to be doing concealed carry. The options that are available are amazing, and you can get into a system that is going to be great, or you should be able to make it work really well without ending up with a giant box of holsters that are not any good. And the resources that are available to you now online are amazing, and you can do your research, and you can find out a lot, and you can make some pretty informed choices before you even start. And that's something that was a lot harder to do when I first started carrying. So a couple of the resources that I would suggest checking out would be the Filster Concealment Workshop. It's a Facebook group online. Primary and secondary would be a good place to go. Someone like Armed and Styled on YouTube offers some pretty insightful videos on concealed carry. There are many others, but that's just a few that I pay attention to and that I would recommend. And so if you're looking to get into concealed carry, here's the gamut of what is kind of normal, and think about the fact that you're probably not going to have one gun. And so you can start with one gun, but we don't just have one type of dress for the entire year, and we don't just have one type of shoes that we always wear. Some things are more appropriate for some situations, some types of dress. And yeah, my suggestion is assume that you're going to end up with 2, possibly 3 guns in your concealed carry, in the world of your concealed carry, and assume that it might look something like this or something like this. This would be a pretty appropriate type of setup for you to have concealed carry with. This would cover most of your bases, and you'd be well served with something like this. Thanks for watching. See you on the flip side.